Come along with us as we embark on a safari in Tanzania. Just out here, spinnaker sailing on our way to Tanga, and this is some of the nicest downwind sailing we've had in a very long time. It's just magnificent. Spinnaker's up. We had the head sail out earlier, we were doing about 5 knots, now we're doing about 8, between 7 and 8 knots. Beautiful out here. It's a little bit overcast, but sun's out and there's nothing around us. Just killing it. It's nice and calm, comfortable, which is a nice change. There's a few flying fish about, but other than that, not a lot really. Just enjoying it, feeling the serenity. After our Indian crossing, we were craving some land-based activity, and we decided to leave Excelsior in Tanga so we could do a self-drive safari. Road trip Africa!
Yo, how good is this?
Nice.
The old Hilux going for a burn.
Our friends on Waymaker decided to join us, and just like sailing, it was safety in numbers. Everything was going smoothly until Paul's car started smoking. There was a crack in the radiator hose.
I was thinking we just done 20 nautical miles, so I was thinking that's pretty good,
And just like sailing, our captains had to do some MacGyvering to fix the car. They were able to cut off the damaged section and re-clamp it, and Novi found water to top up the radiator tank. We were soon back on the road, passing quaint villages and farmland. It was so green. There were plenty of sisal and sunflower plantations. But there were also extremes, from flowing riverways to the more arid landscape of Kumasi National Park. We soon began our ascent up the Usambara range, waving to all the locals as we passed. Hello!
Oh god. No turbo, shitty little engine, no traction. Steepest mountain I've ever seen in my life. This gives the Remarkables a run for its money.
Oh yeah.
In New Zealand, hey, this is way steeper and huge.
And a lot more bends.
Yeah, put it in four-wheel drive yet? Nah, I don't need four-wheel drive yet, man. Mazungu is white person. They're all shocked.
In the higher altitudes, the farmers were growing winter crops like cauliflower and broccoli. Jumbo! Jumbo!
Oh, look at these little girls.
Lost in mountains on little goat tracks, and we're so close but so far. Fun and games!
Look at the drop off. Look at that.
And it was a bit of a mission, thanks Google, but we found our intended destination, Mumbo Viewpoint. Located in the stunning West Usambara Mountains is a place called Uvi House, which actually means chameleon in the local language, and you'll see why. The cooler mountain climate was an alluring prospect, plus the eco and ethical friendly tourism prospects that the region supports and creates. The view was well worth the drive, and we all settled in at the restaurant balcony with a cold beer in hand whilst lapping up the stunning scenery.
The drums up here.
We were welcomed by friendly staff and shown to our cliffside mud huts, brightly furnished with colourful African decor. And this is how the water was heated, plumbed directly to our rooms by copper piping. The native flora and endemic species to this region are also impressive. Brody made a new friend with this little female chameleon. We were just pinching ourselves to be here, experiencing a beautiful change of scenery.
The food is, I think food is ready.
Oh, lovely. Food's ready?
Yeah.
Right.
It smells very nice.
Our dinner was a delicious hearty beef curry, accompanied by fragrant cardamom rice, vegetables and freshly baked bread, using ingredients all grown and sourced locally.
What a morning view.
It's pretty good, eh?
Wow, this is worth waking up for.
On a clear morning, you can even see as far as Kilimanjaro. We definitely could have stayed longer, but it was time to hit the road.
Asante sana. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, so cute.
This time we took a different and more direct road back to the highway, thanks to the instructions of locals.
Lucky we let him pass. Look at the cliff.
God.
And that's the mountain range we stayed on last night. Pretty cool.
Our next stop was Moshi, gateway to Kilimanjaro, or Kili as she is lovingly referred to. Standing at a height of 5,895 metres, it is actually the largest freestanding mountain in the world, and because mountaineering gear or experience is not required to reach her peak, tens of thousands of tourists flock from all over the world to ascend the mountain each year. The climb did not fit in our budget, so we went out of town to seek another spot, where good old Google Maps led us astray again.
shouldn't have turned off that. This is not
And
a
we're
road.
lost again because Google Maps is.
Google Maps, you really suck.
In Tanzania, it's fucking dreadful. Absolutely hopeless. Taking us down, it looks like a footpath through the bloody bush.
It's a goat track through like someone's property.
Paul will be loving this shit. He said he likes going forward driving, so he'll enjoy it. He's just not in a Range Rover this time.
Yeah.
We were lucky not to get bogged, but unfortunately, Paul wasn't so lucky.
We went really close to the bush so we weren't in the mud.
With more ingenuity and quick thinking from our captain, Brendan was able to help save the day.
In there under that Try, mate.
Nah, you're just digging more hole. You got out, yay!
A self-drive safari in Tanzania is definitely not for the faint-hearted.
Having a terrible time, aren't you?
And finally, we made it to our destination. Seemingly in the middle of nowhere is the stunning oasis, Chemka Hot Springs.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, here I come.
I wouldn't call it hot spring.
No. Not bad, eh?
Pretty, look at the colour of the water.
It's stunning.
This lovely mineral spring is fed by groundwater from Mount Kilimanjaro. The local boys showed Brody how it's done on the rope swing.
That's sick. That was awesome. Do it again. Let go.
While Charlize opted for a fishy pedicure with her new friends.
No way. I can't do it.
On our way back, we began seeing Maasai herding their cattle. But on the highways, the traffic was fierce.
Oh, do not come to Tanzania if you are an impatient person. Like me. Oh, look at this! Oh, he nearly hit him!
We made it to our next accommodation for the night before setting off again early next morning.
Where we stayed last night. Just throw that over your shoulder, you can be a Maasai.
Welcome to Arusha, the gateway to the game parks. While the boys had some car issues to attend to, we visited the African Art Gallery here. This amazing piece, called the Family Tree, took the artist 38 years to carve by hand. Here you can also see artists at work, but the gallery itself is quite incredible. The architecture of the building is well thought out, being that you can go up one side and down the other side. And that way you don't miss any of this beautiful art. The boys were intrigued by the spectacle when it took all these men to move this one heavy ebony wood sculpture. There are so many incredible pieces. There is even a Jane Goodall exhibit, which I was excited to show Charlize. Jane Goodall was my hero growing up. It was pretty cool for me to be able to teach the kids about Jane's work and her story. There's a pretty cool gift shop here too, but we opted for the Maasai market. Out front, Brody was invited to play with Maasai musicians. Next morning, bright and shiny, we were back in the traffic, heading out of town to the game parks. And when we started seeing these road signs, we knew we were getting close.
Chicky Raffit's looking at you. Hello.
Staring at me. That's a pretty good start. We're not even in a national park yet, and we've already seen zebra, we've seen giraffe, we've seen wildebeest, we've seen baboons. Unbelievable. We haven't paid a cent yet, so that's a great start. I mean, it's going to cost us a little bit to get into the parks to see the big stuff like the hippos and elephants and that, more maybe, but just a wild herd of zebra outside a national park just cruising around. It's so cool. Can you believe it? Zebra and giraffe within like 15 minutes of each other.
And gazelles.
And gazelles, yeah, everything.
We passed by many Maasai and their herds along the bumpy dirt track out to Lake Natron.
Hey, there's donkeys, there's cows, there's a bit of everything in the mix.
We stopped to give some Maasai children water.
It was too small.
I couldn't believe we were already seeing herds of zebra along the roadside. We weren't even in the national park yet. And we soon saw an iconic volcano known as the Mountain of God by the local people. After paying our gate fees, we then found our way to our accommodation.
Karibu.
Okay, go.
Karibu.
Hey, can you get a drink?
Asante sana.
Asante.
Aye.
Thank you.
Our accommodation was lovely, but the view was even better, looking out over the Mountain of God and Lake Natron. Sitting in the pool, we sat and watched the sun go down over this incredible landscape. Oldonyo Lengai is an active volcano that the Maasai of the Rift Valley refer to as Mountain of God, and interestingly, this volcano is believed to have the coolest lava in the world. Initially brown or black, the lava cools and becomes white like snow due to the high mineral content. With a Maasai guide, you can hike to the crater rim, which would be incredible. I wish we'd have had the time. Next morning, after a hearty breakfast, we said goodbye to our lovely hosts, and with our Maasai guide, we went on an excursion to Lake Natron to see if we could see some flamingos.
Not a zebra crossing, giraffe crossing. Look at them all, everywhere.
It's not every day you have to stop for giraffe crossing the road, and it's beginning to sink in that we really are in Africa. Lake Natron is most famous for the flamingos that it attracts, and these birds do not find the lake toxic like many other creatures. In fact, they feed on the algae present in this lake, and it gives them their distinct red colour. Lake Natron is a salt lake known as the Deadly Lake because the water is very high in cyanobacteria. The algae releases a chemical which damages cells, nervous system and livers of most of the organisms that have consumed it. Many of the birds and animals that drink from Lake Natron wind up dead as a result. Our guide grew up in this area and he explained to us the difference between the lesser and the greater flamingos. As we made our way back to the cars, we could see people gathering. We discovered that it was local Maasai women from the camp nearby selling their wares. We made a few purchases and some of the women even let me photograph them. Nearby was another famous site where some of the most well-preserved hominid footprints were left in the mud here somewhere between 5,000 and 19,000 years ago. These imprints left behind represent the distinct pathways of at least 20 different individuals. With the day beginning to heat up, our guide then took us to a local waterfall which supplies nearby residents with their water. We walked along the stony path and at some sections we had to wade through the watercourse until we made it to the other side and eventually to the end of the waterfall where we went for a swim.
Paul's cut his foot. Oh no. He's okay, he's just underneath, it's got a big tab of skin sort of hanging off. And our Maasai guide has just walked over and pulled out his massive Maasai blade. It's like this long. He's like, we just sliced. We just take it off. It's like his blade like this long, and he's trying to cut it off. Paul, like, no.
On our way out, we passed the Maasai bomas, livestock fencing and traditional housing of the Maasai people.
That's a lot of ass.
Cruising along without too much concern.
They're so placid, the animals.
We now made our way to a township called Karatu, which is the nearest place you can stay before Ngorongoro Crater. The lodge we stayed at were really accommodating, even letting us hose down our vehicles which were covered in dust. Sadly, the dust was also inside.
It's safari day.
Damn right it is.
Ngorongoro is a conservation area and UNESCO heritage site. Maasai pastoralists, who were the last to inhabit the area, gave the crater its name from the sound produced by the cowbell. Today we were up before the sun, eagerly anticipating our trip into the crater, the world's largest inactive, intact and unfilled volcanic caldera and an oasis for African wildlife. We soon came to an unexpected roadblock, African buffalo. and the first of the big five we hope to see today. Reaching 2,450 metres at the highest point on the crater road, visibility was poor because we were now well and truly in the clouds. We descended down into the crater and had our eyes peeled, ready to see some African wildlife. First up, we saw gazelle, quickly followed by the king of the jungle.
Oh my god. Getting more comfortable.
Lion are my favourite and number 2 on our big 5 list. They were so majestic. We also saw some hyenas skulking about. And way off in the distance we saw number 3, the rhino. Brendo's favourite was the hippopotamus. This mother was lifting her calf up to breathe. But this big guy was amazing. He was rolling around in the mud and having so much fun. The irony was not lost on me when zebra crossed the road. A hyena followed suit. And even a little hare, closely followed by a jackal. Although the famed migration had not yet begun, we saw plenty of wildebeest about, and they were also crossing the road. We love their exaggerated leaps and bounds as they cross the culvert. We were getting close now. Number 4 on our list, the African elephant. It's so lovely to see these gentle giants in the wild. Our eagle-eyed daughter saw a leopard, would you believe? Her excited shout, "Jaguar!" scared it away, and all I saw was its tail as it retreated. We also saw a troop of baboon, an animal called an eland, warthog, more flamingos, and more buffalo, along with plenty of bird life. What a great day out with fabulous company. Entry wasn't cheap, but it was very memorable. Here's the prices for anyone who's interested. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and give us a comment. Thanks for watching.